It's February 18th, and the strange side of history awaits. Today, we have a student who risked everything for the truth and paid the ultimate price, a mind that helped humanity leave the ground, and a name that would become synonymous with velocity. Let's begin. On February 18th, 1943, the halls of the University of Munich were quiet, but inside, something dangerous was unfolding. 21-year-old Sophie Scholl and her brother Hans carried a suitcase filled with forbidden leaflets. They were members of the White Rose, a small circle of students speaking against Hitler's regime. That morning, they scattered copies of their 6th pamphlet across the empty corridors. But before leaving, Sophie made a sudden decision. From the 3rd floor balcony, she pushed the remaining stack over the rails. Papers fluttered down into the auditorium like silent snow. The janitor, Jakob Schmidt, a loyal Nazi, saw everything. He locked the doors. The Giuseppe were called. For 3 days, Sophie was interrogated. She tried to shield others, taking responsibility for herself. She did not beg. She did not break. On February 22nd, after a sham of a trial at the People's Court, she was sentenced to death and executed by guillotine within hours. Witnesses say she remained calm to the end, with the final words, "The sun still shines." Her voice was silenced in 4 days, but the echo of those falling leaflets still drifts through history. On February 18th, 1832, in a quiet corner of Paris, a child was born who would one day help humanity leave the ground. His name was Octave Chanute, the son of a respected historian at the French college, and his life seemed destined for academia, but destiny had other plans. At just 6 years old, he crossed the Atlantic with his family, leaving behind France for the relentlessly expanding America. By 17, he was building railroads, carving steel pathways across the continent. Bridges rose from rivers because of his calculations. Trains thundered safely across spans because of his designs. But quietly, obsessively, his mind drifted upwards. Long before powered flight was possible, Chanute studied the impossible question, how to make machines fly and survive. He experimented with gliders along the wind-swept dunes of Lake Michigan. His designs, strong, braced, and practical, would quietly influence 2 unknown bicycle mechanics from Ohio, the Wright brothers. He is known as the grandfather of aviation, and his ideas carried others into the sky. On February 18th, 1898, in the snow-covered streets of Modena, Italy, a child was born during a storm so fierce it delayed his existence on paper. His name was Enzo Ferrari. The blizzard was so severe that his father couldn't reach the registry office. He wouldn't officially exist for 2 more days. It's a small detail, but strangely fitting for a man whose life would blur the lines between legend and reality. He grew up inside a small metal workshop surrounded by sparks, iron, and the rhythmic clang of machinery. His father built parts for the railway, and these were the sounds of his childhood. At 10 years old, Enzo witnessed a race. Engines screamed past like mechanical beasts, and from that moment on, he wasn't interested in trains. He wanted more velocity. Fate struck him hard in 1916 during a brutal flu outbreak. He lost both his father and his brother, and 2 years later, he nearly died from the same illness while serving in the Italian army. He survived, and from that survival came an obsession. Decades later, he would found Ferrari, building machines that roared like controlled thunder. Enzo Ferrari didn't just build cars, he built speed into something immortal. Another day, another strange bite from history. Like, comment, and subscribe. Your next eerie dose is just a day away.